Streaming, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, has seen an exponential boom as a result of the lockdowns caused by the pandemic. It's incredibly likely that one of your favorite content creators is also a streamer. Either that, or one of your favorite content groups has a lot of streamers in it. But this recent expansion of streaming begs the question, how did we get here? How did independent live streaming become such a phenomenon in the current space of content that we occupy? I'm Meta64 and... oh my god, Ollie Adept, thank you for the Prime! While writing this video, I kind of realized that the title is a bit confusing, as independent live streaming could theoretically mean a lot of things, from broadcasting on the private TV channels to broadcasting to sites like Twitch or YouTube, basically streaming platforms. So for the sake of this video, I'm only talking about online live streaming, or as boomers in IT would call it, webcasting. There's still a lot to cover in that aspect, but it's a lot more manageable and also where I happen to be situated on the internet, and so it's a lot more easy for me to relate to. And now, without further ado, in the days before YouTube and other video sharing websites, hell, even before Google had a video tab on their website, the best way to watch content online for your funny little telephone line was a software called Real Player. For the people who grew up with the internet in the mid to late 90s, the cogs in your brain probably just started turning. Or maybe they didn't, that's also an option, that's not the point though. Real Player was a multimedia player like Windows Media Player or VLC. In fact, I go farther to say that the Real Player of 1995 is quite close to the VLC that we know and use today. Why do I say that? Well, aside from the fact that both of these players are extremely versatile in whatever file type you could throw at them, both of the players have the ability to tune into live streams, and it's just complicated enough to the point that only people in the networking field would even begin to understand how that works. But hey, the option's still there if you feel like doing it. Some of the first few webcasts were done by just having a webcam take pictures of the space periodically, in order to save on the amount of data that the host would have to transmit over the wire, like the Trojan Room Coffee Pot webcam at the University of Cambridge or Jenny Ringley's JennyCam, which was one of the earliest examples of what would eventually become a cam girl on the internet. Another type of webcast from this era were the live audio experiences. Apple's webcasting group, specifically David Pakman, alongside Michael Dorf and Andrew Rouse, would go on to host the first ever Macintosh New York Film Festival from July 17th to July 22nd in 1995. And then finally, the version of webcasting that we're all very familiar with, the first audio-visual webcast, was first hosted by the UK-based rock band Caduceus in 1996. Since this was a really early version of webcasting, and it was done in Britain, the BBC interviewed them about it, and the video of their interview, plus the video of their first ever demonstration of this technology, is available to still watch on YouTube for the BBC's YouTube channel. The original article where they interviewed them is available to also look at in PDF form. Click the eye icon if you'd like to go read it, or check the description. So, let's fast forward around like 12 or so years from 1996 to 2008. By this point, YouTube's been around for just about 3 years, and they decided to try out the idea of a live webcast on their website. But by this point, the better term to use would actually be live stream. So, from November 22nd to 23rd, YouTube hosted their first ever big YouTube Live event, which had a myriad of big names in both entertainment and online culture, like will.i.am, Fred, Smosh, and Bo Burnham. The event was planned to go again yearly afterwards after this first event, but that didn't really fully work out. YouTube would not give up on streaming though, and after experimenting with a live YouTube concert in 2009 and a Q&A with President Obama in 2010, YouTube would roll out YouTube Live in April of 2011. The service this time, not the past event. The privilege of using this new live service would only be given to select YouTube partners, however, but this would be rolled back later. Okay, so, I accidentally missed something on my way over to 2011, so gotta go back a couple years, just about 4, to 2007. Meet Justin Kan, Kyle Vaught, Emmett Shear, and Michael Siebel. In 2007, these guys had a really interesting idea. A 24/7 live stream of Justin's life, beginning on March 19th, 2007, which would be hosted on a website aptly titled Justin.tv, allowing anyone to tune in and even chat with Justin as he went through his day-to-day life. That fall, Justin.tv would open itself up for anyone to have an account and stream on the platform, achieving over 30,000 broadcasters by April of 2008. Now, across the entirety of Justin TV, you had a bunch of different categories, and the one that was most popular by a long shot was its gaming section. The company behind Justin.tv would then decide that the gaming section would work best on its own due to its rapid growth. And so, in June of 2011, the result of gaming split from Justin.tv would manifest itself into Twitch. With the launch of Twitch and YouTube Live both in 2011, both of the companies behind them threw our perception of online streaming way out of the window and threw us into the modern streaming age. So, hey, it's 2013. What's changed with streaming? Well, honestly, in terms of a surface level, the UI's changed. It looks a bit cleaner, especially on Twitch's end. Alright, so the biggest development of 2013 in terms of live streaming came from YouTube, actually, who allowed verified accounts with at least 1,000 subscribers to go live, eventually removing the requirement of subscribers for live streaming in December of that year. Fun! By 2015, Twitch's partner program had reached over 11,000 members, allowing the streamers in that program to monetize their streams through subscriptions and ad revenue, being one of the first live streaming platforms to offer such a program. That was really cool of you, Twitch. Good job on you. But out of all of the important happenings in the early 2010s, nothing compares to the absolute bombshell of the first alpha version of OBS being released on February 1st, 2012, and then the first official version being released publicly on r/StarCraft of all things in August of 2012. I did not know it was released on r/StarCraft before I started researching this video. It's really funny that's where it went. So, before the release of open broadcasting software, the biggest screencasters for streaming were Flash Media Live Encoder and XSplit Broadcaster. See, here's the thing, both of these programs were really good and paved the way for multiple streamers on Justin.tv and other sites to, go stream. But here's the thing, OBS was so beyond the competition, accessible to everyone, dead simple to the point that people who have never even streamed before could use it easily. And the best part, it was free and fully open source. And especially that first part, free. Do you know why there's so many streamers? You know how many streamers joined the platform of Twitch in 2020? Do you want to know why? Because OBS is free and simple. That's why. Alright, what else? Mixer launched in 2015. It was really revolutionary in the world of online streaming, pioneering an extremely low latency rate and extreme chat interaction with the streamer. So, for games like Minecraft Story Mode, viewers could even vote on which choices to make, all while being on the Mixer website. No external panel, no overlay on stream, just directly below the video player. It was pretty fucking sick, I will be real. Mixer got some more publicity when they announced that they had signed both Twitch streamers Ninja and Shroud over from Twitch for massive amounts of money. Hey, keep the idea of signing humongous streamers over to other platforms in mind for later. It will come up again. Unfortunately, even with Ninja and Shroud, Mixer just was not that popular. Kinda on Microsoft's end. Big fuck you to Microsoft. And unfortunately shut down in June of 2020, moving all of their partners over to Facebook Gaming. I kinda miss Mixer, as YouTube is now Twitch's biggest competitor, and the things that Mixer introduced were extremely innovative, and I really liked them. Probably wouldn't have set the world on fire, but alright, shut up, I miss it, okay? Now, one of the biggest changes we've seen since the Real Player era and now is the growth of a community, a culture to streaming. YouTube may not have had this as much in the streaming aspect, that was more the video side for them than the streaming side, but Twitch had a culture in droves. When I think Twitch, when you think Twitch, you think PogChamp, a fast chat, Why People Happy, 7TV, BTTV, Primes. There's a culture to watching Twitch, there's a culture to streaming on Twitch, and out of that culture, we got some of the coolest events in history. So, we're actually going to take a quick detour from everything. We're going to go have a look at some of those. When I think of big Twitch events, the first one that springs to mind for me is Twitch Plays Pokemon. One of the first truly big events that ever happened on Twitch, Twitch Plays Pokemon was a social experiment made to test the chat's collaboration skills in Pokemon Red, by having viewers control the game by sending messages into the chat. And it was chaotic, to say the very least, but it was a chaos that people latched onto really quickly, with a bunch of memes and just inside jokes being passed around. As a result of this, the entirety of the stream would reach a peak of 121,000 concurrent viewers by the time they were able to complete Pokemon Red. From there, the person behind Twitch Plays Pokemon would then go on to start up a session of the next few generations of Pokemon games, and also started trying out Pokemon ROM hacks. Twitch Plays Pokemon is still going and is currently on its 6th season, and they've even branched out to other games that aren't Pokemon like Kirby Star Allies. For the longest time on the internet, when you thought of Twitch, there were a few faces that immediately sprung to your mind. Pokimane, Ninja, XQC, Germa, and many others would immediately spring to your mind the moment you thought, oh shit, Twitch.tv. But the most well-known among the faces of Twitch, the one that probably sprung to your mind as soon as possible before he came to YouTube, would be Ludwig. In the Twitch community, Ludwig was considered one of the very best, not only for his fan base, but also his personality and his long-standing status in this community for just being a nice person. But if there's something Lud's really well known for, it's his events, and on March 14, 2021, Ludwig would embark on one of the largest subathons in Twitch history. His subathon turned out to be completely and utterly uncapped, which means that the subathon could, in theory, go on for as long as possible. And while it didn't, his subathon would go on for an entire month, filled with games, Reddit recaps, sleeping with modcasts, and some of the funniest content from any streamer that year, some of the most heartfelt as well. Ludwig would go on to then break the record for most concurrent subscribers on Twitch, taking the record from Ninja, who happened to have it before him. As well, Ludwig would also break the record for most concurrent viewers on a stream, all while he was sleeping. For as long as Twitch has been a part of internet streaming, speedrunners have been right alongside it. The top speedrunners, the world record holders, bring in a lot of viewers whenever they happen to stream. In January of 2010, members from the Speed Demos Archive, one of the first video game speedrunning sites, would organize what would be known as Classic Games Done Quick at MagFest 8. Due to internet problems the venue that MagFest was at, CGDQ needed to be relocated, and it was relocated to SDA admin Mike Uyama's mother's basement, where the event would then go on to raise over $10,000 for CARE. After CGDQ's success in raising money for charity, first AGDQ, or Awesome Games Done Quick, would be held in January of 2011, raising over $20,000 for the Organization for Autism Research. GDQ would then continue on throughout the years, raising over $1 million in 2014, doubling that amount over 2 years later. So I mentioned Jerma a little while ago, and to say that Jerma is an integral part of Twitch would be an absolute understatement to this man's impact on the platform. From his goofy-ass personality to his chat to the rats. Rats. I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? The rats. Jerma can honestly be considered in a league of his fucking own, just doing the most wacky-ass shit and calling it content. Speaking of wacky-ass shit, Jerma's Dollhouse. Beginning in August of 2021, the Dollhouse was a parody of The Sims, but chat was in the role of the player, making sure Jerma is well fed, bathed, has a social life, etc. And as you can expect from a Jerma stream, it was filled with memes, chaos, just yoinky sploinky apparently. It was just a fucking fever dream from start to finish. Jerma's Dollhouse also happened to be one of the most well-produced streams of the summer, and as a result, it's created a stream that will probably impact people for years. And it probably already has, because of the amount of fucking yoinky sploinky I see on my timeline. Independent live streaming as a concept has come such a long way since Real Player in the late 90s. We've seen improvements upon improvements in this field, and some of the most influential sites to ever exist pop up as a result, and some of the most influential creators too. And now people like you and me can go live at any point with any computer and go live to who knows how many people. From JennyCam to Justin TV to Twitch and to YouTube, streaming has certainly come a long fucking way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go find someone to raid. You're gonna have to give me a moment here.